Hey, Kevin, is Nick Chubb, is he in concussion protocol?
He is.
I assume he will not be at practice today.
Correct.
Go to Scott Petrick.
So, Coach, you talked to us about having talked to the team Sunday night about doing the right things and taking care of each other. So what did you say to Mac and the rest of the team after yesterday's incident?
Yeah, Scott, I'm going to keep those conversations internal.
Can you at least say that you weren't happy with the play? Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. Thanks.
Nate Ulrich, you're up.
Hey, Coach. Sorry about that. How disappointing is it? First padded practice, you want to get good work in, and then you have obviously one of your better players hurt right away, and in a way you'd rather not have happen.
Yeah, I would say that's disappointing, Nate. We got to be smart. We have a lot of work to do, and we're going to continue to have our pads on, and we just got to make sure as a team that we get our work done and get it done while taking care of each other.
Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
Coach, can you talk about how, at least at that position, you've got Kareem Hunt that can kind of step in there, not only to kind of keep your offense going in the run game right now, but also to help give your defense a really good look right now?
Yeah, I think that's a really good running back room. I think Coach Mitchell does a great job with those guys. Kareem looks great. He's really moving around, has a very good grasp of what we want this offense to look like, and excited for what Kareem has going forward.
Tony Grossi, you're up.
Sorry. Kevin, what's your tolerance for drop passes? I know it was a rainy day and that plays a role, but how far do you tolerate that at practice?
Yeah, I think it was rainy, but I don't want to use that as an excuse. We're an outdoor football team. So, receivers by definition receive. We're going to throw plenty of balls to our running backs and our tight ends. So there's a standard that we expect. And that's something that they work really hard on. That's a pre-practice drill, a post-practice drill, get a lot of work during the practice itself. And then I should mention, we put a huge emphasis with our defense. We want these tip balls and overthrows to turn into turnovers.
And can I just ask, I assume just to confirm, you do keep track of drops at practice?
We do.
Okay.
Dale Ryder.
Hey, Coach, we talked to David Njoku a couple moments ago, and I'm just curious from your perspective, how does he elevate his game and become that consistent pass-catching tight end that your offense really depends upon?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, Darryl. All of our players were looking for consistency. So David's no different. Need him to perform day in and day out in the run game and the pass game. But I think he's shown up here in great shape. He's learning the playbook, and I think he's willing to put in the work.
But is there something that you tell him to maybe, work with him a little bit, to whether it's a mental thing, whether it's a physical thing or whatnot?
Not necessarily, Darryl. I think with each player, you have to reach them in a different way. I mean, we're all different. So there's some guys that are great learning from tape. There's other guys that need walkthrough. So for David or for any of our players, we got to, as coaches, find a way to reach our students.
Tom Withers.
Coach, with what happened with Nick yesterday, will that change anything in terms of practice going forward? And if I could ask, how do you strike that balance between, you want your defense to celebrate big plays and be aggressive and do all those things without, obviously putting anybody in jeopardy?
Tom, no, we won't change anything about what we're doing. And yeah, we want our defense to play with great enthusiasm. And I think Joe and the staff are doing an outstanding job in showing our guys the level of play that we're looking for. And we just know there's a safe way to do that.
You've been around the league a long time. Can you sense that moment in practice, maybe when things are starting to get a little too heated up?
Yeah, I think you can.
Very good. Thanks.
Jeff Shadell.
Hey, Kevin, I know it's still early, but can you give us an early report on Jedrick Wills, how he's fitting in over there?
Yeah, I'd say, like you said, Jeff, it's early. I think all of our rookies are working on technique. They're all working in the playbook, in the scheme of what we're trying to get done. But I can assure you with Jed and with all of our rookies, our coaches are spending a lot of time with them. And there's time on the practice field, there's time in the meeting rooms, there's time off to the side. So we got to utilize our time, be efficient with what we're doing, and making sure that we're getting it how we want it.
Scott Patrick.
Hey, Coach, we know how much you used multiple tight ends last year. Given, the receivers you have and the running backs you have, do you think you'll use the same number of multiple tight ends this season?
I can't specifically say, Scott, what that will look like. I will tell you, we want to be multiple. So the tight end room, the wide receiver room, the running back room, we want to use all of them. And there will be some games that call for one personnel group over the other, but that'll be dictated really by the game plan.
And with your love of tight ends, have you stressed that to David that, given, the trade request and the rescinding, just how important that he can be in your system this year?
I didn't necessarily stress that to David, no, but I think all of our tight ends understand the type of offense that we run, the different jobs that we'll have them do. So I think, and David could answer that better than I could, but I think he understands the role with which he will play and all those guys in that room.
Okay, thanks.
Fred Greetham, you're up.
You're on mute, Fred.
Fred, I believe you need to hit on mute on your side, please. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that, Coach. I know it's early. What are you most pleased with, and what have you learned about your team in the early going?
It's so early, Fred. I think we need to get Rob, you got to take an L there, bud.
Yeah, sorry about that, Coach. Moved on me.
Okay. No, I think, Fred, we're early in this. I think we got to get through these 4 days of contact integration, as the NFL is calling it, before we kind of know what we have. I will tell you, by and large, the work has been good. It's not perfect. It's nowhere near where we want to be, but that's the nature of training camp and the nature of practice.
Thank you.
We'll take these last two questions, Jake Trotter and then Tony Grossi.
Kevin, how important was the signing of Austin Hooper for what you guys want to do offensively and the way that you want to play?
Yeah, we identified that early on in that free agency process, and Andrew and his staff did a great job to make that happen. We think we have a versatile football player, a guy that's played in a scheme similar to this. He really can do a bunch of different jobs, young player, smart. So very excited about Austin.
Last one, Jake Trotter.
I didn't mean to ask two questions in a row there.
Okay. Go to Tony Grossi and then we'll call it.
Okay, yes, this is tight end day. When it comes to the conventional inline tight end, I don't know who your candidates are, but does the fact that Harrison Bryant played offensive line way back in high school make him usable in that role?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, Tony. I think the inline tight end for us typically is our Y. And I've seen many shapes and sizes of players play that position on the line of scrimmage throughout the history of this offense, the history of this game. So I think all of them can play that position with varying degrees of comfort. Harrison's background in offensive line play, yeah, I would think that it helps in some of the footwork and some of the hand placement. But he's somebody that we really see a versatility in his game. So excited to grow that here over the next couple of weeks.
And a quickie about contact integration. Do you increase in minutes every one of these 4 days?
It does. It increases by 15 minutes.
Okay, thanks.